Hey there, glad to be with you. Sometimes we do these cold opens. This is the last week of Free Mug Club month, so if you want this to continue, we do encourage you to go and sign up. But I want to take an opportunity to talk about something here. I know. Oh, look at this. I just went midget height. People often talk about mental health in this country, and they only do it when either a celebrity dies or there's a shooting and it's thrown around like a political football. And it's very generalized. And in meeting some of you this week, and there was one person in particular who discussed with me that, this show has helped this person. And thank you to that lady whom I spoke with at, I'll just say it, Quick Trip. It wasn't Racetrack. Maybe want to take a second to talk about this. We talk about mental health. It's often very generalized. And what people will often say, you'll see whether it's on CNN or somewhere, they say, don't be afraid to go get help. And by the way, that still stands, just to be clear. You should get help. Help is good. By the way, it's the red tide. I'm sick here today in case you're wondering about my voice. But I also understand that some of you out there may not know where to go for help. You right now may feel like you can't afford help, or maybe you're in a rut and that first step seems monumental, to go into an office, to meet somebody, do a pre-interview and get some help. Well, let me tell you something. I've done it. I've been getting help, for lack of a better word, for most of my adult life. And hopefully I can impart some of that help here without you taking that first step, which I encourage you to do. First, let me describe what sometimes this feels like and ask yourself if it's you. Does it feel like some people are just wired this way? And by the way, sometimes rewiring needs to take place, and you can do it, but it's a matter of degree. But for some people out there, is this you? Joy is harder maybe to come by for you. People will often talk about depression or anxiety. Let's put a finer point on it. Is joy harder to come by for you as it is for some people? And that's just a fact. Some people aren't naturally as joyous. For me, I often experience joy through other people. It's why I always liked coaching more than competing. It's why I love doing Change My Minds rather than debates. It's why we do the show the way that we do, because bringing you joy is kind of one of those things that for me does help part those clouds, and it imparts a sense of purpose. Does this describe you? For me, sometimes my personal victories don't feel as big as maybe they are to an outside observer, and the failures, no matter how small, feel cataclysmic. Does that describe you? Is that what you're dealing with? Okay, so if you haven't gotten help yet, let me tell you what I do believe is the biggest help and has been the biggest help for me by far. Even though these are just some steps, not a solution, and the show is meant to be helpful, meant to actually, in a tangible way, in a quantifiable way, help you live your life. I'm completely confident the steps I'm about to outline will help everyone, not cure everyone, but help everyone, and at the very least, do no harm. They're not capable of doing harm. And just for reference, yes, there are longer books out there that will help you more in depth. Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, fantastic. This is not a panacea or a replacement, but this is how I can best distill and offer, I guess, that first rung on the ladder. It's three things. Again, if this describes you. Number one, your overall health. Nutrition, physical activity, sleep. If you haven't even tried that, let alone dialed it in, do that first, okay, before you take a pill. And I'm not saying that there's no appropriate scenario to take a pill. Dial in your physical health. It will help everyone. And with that comes, more importantly, structure and discipline to achieve that, which brings me to number two. I want you to try a 60-day challenge here. This isn't a meme. It's not owling, nothing like that. It's not Tide Pods. I want you to try 60 days doing these things. Your mental health, meaning your physical health, your diet, your exercise, your sleep. And I want you to change your mind to a mindset of get up and do it anyway. Okay, try it for 60 days. Switch your mindset to that of, it sounds simple, but do the steps required to do this, to get up and do it anyway. Don't feel like getting out of bed? Get up and do it anyway. Don't feel like going to the gym? Get up and do it anyway. Don't feel like calling your mom, which you know you owe? Get up and do it anyway. The same, by the way, applies to the rest of these. If you don't feel like taking time to contemplate, to recover, to plan, get up and do it anyway. For 60 days. Try that. And then I want you to combine this with, I've talked about this before, but I think it's important and worth reiterating. Number three, gratitude. And I don't mean this like some Pinterest quote. I get it. Everyone has their cross to bear. For some of you, right now, watching, listening, it's worse than others. Some of you have had some tough breaks too. But every day, and I do this through prayer, often my prayers are simply giving thanks. I want you to actually go through this mental exercise, not just say, oh, I'm thankful. What do you have to be grateful for? Do you have a roof over your head? Are you able to feed yourself every day? Do you have children that you love? Do you have family that you love? Do you have a good friend? Do you have one good friend? And sometimes it's hard for us to identify the blessings that we do have when we're in a rut, and no one understands that more than me. It's not lost on me. If you find yourself in a rough bind, I want you to do this. Picture a world in which you remove even the small amount of comfort or goods that you have. If you're watching or listening to this, let me ask you, what would your life look like if you couldn't? That's something simple. If you couldn't afford a phone, tablet, TV, internet, whatever it is that you use to enjoy this. Do you have children? There are people out there whose children right now have been kidnapped, never to be seen again. I cannot imagine anything worse. Watched a film this weekend where that took place, made me sick to my stomach. It's probably the worst fear I can imagine. Is that not you? Are your children safe? Are they even in a country where they largely can be safe? Maybe you don't have kids. What if your best friend right now, your one good friend, was just diagnosed with terminal cancer? Would that change your life? Would that change your life? Are you grateful that that's not the case today? And I know there are different severities to this, but if you can imagine in any way something important to you right now being stripped away, and that can happen to any of us at any given moment, would you appreciate it more? Because then if you do, you not only start to focus, but elevate the things in your life that you appreciate. You start to value them. And then you tend to create, or at least recognize, the other things of value in your life. Part of this was inspired by the fact that, yes, it's this red tide. Sick. It's not the worst that I've had. Worse than COVID for sure. That was a walk in the park. But when you're sick, you ever notice it's almost impossible to think of anything else? You know, you have a headache, throat, body aches, whatever it is. All you can think about is your inability to do things that you would normally do in your day-to-day life. Just yesterday night, I was thinking, hey, remember breathing? That was great. Remember when I could breathe without all this? Yeah, breathing was a lot of fun. Then once you recover, you ever experience this? The rebound effect, you feel like King Kong. Maybe you notice your strength in the gym. It feels like those weights are sailing out of there. Maybe it's your mental acuity, but there is that rebound effect. But to you right now, if you're not sick right now, how often do you say to yourself, man, isn't it great to not be sick? I have so much energy and ability, relatively speaking, or do you take it for granted? See, gratitude is not just about recognizing serious issues that need addressing or your improvement, but that sickness rebound that I'm talking about. I'm talking about feeling and thinking that way every day before it's stripped from you. Preemptively create your own rebound effect, not after. So no, I do not have all the answers. That's not what this is about. I hate it when people go on Instagram and say, just one more rep, whatever. That's not what this is. But if you are looking for some answers, just for some improvement for 60 days, try these 3 things. 1, take care of your health. 2, get up and do it anyway. Switch your mindset to that. And 3, list what you are grateful for, what you appreciate as often as you can do it. And then after that, hopefully, you go get some help because life gets better. Things get better. And yes, you cannot control everything. That's absolutely true. But there are things you can control right now to make your life better. 60 days. Start now. Immediately. Try it. Love you. On with the show.
I don't know what to say. Really. It all comes down to today. Now either we heal as a mug club or we crumble. We're in progressive hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stand around and get the shit kicked out of us, or we can claw our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. No, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I mean, I look at all these young mug clubbers' faces, and I think I made every wrong choice a late 20s, early 30-year-olds guy could make. I pissed off all the social media giants. I pushed away every Hollywood agent who's ever represented me. You know, when you come out as a conservative, things get taken from you. I mean, that's a part of life. But you only learn that part when people start calling you a Nazi. And you find out that life is a game of inches. And so's Mug Club. They're trying to shut us down. The inches we need are everywhere around this Mug Club. Hell yeah. And this Mug Club, we fight for that inch. In this Mug Club, we tear ourselves to pieces, throw ourselves at super videos, we change minds, and we even make jokes for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those Mug Club ballots and all those minds changed, that's gonna mean the fucking difference between winning or losing. And either we vote now as one Mug Club, or we get banned. That's individual. That's Mug Club, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do? Join Mug Club today, or die as individuals.
Ah, delicious. That's not going to solve this red tide, though. What's going on with my throat? I don't think the red tide is doing me any favors. Glad to be with you. A lot of opens. We have a lot to get to today. Riots in Chicago.
Oh,
I know what you're thinking. This is a rerun. I've seen this. No. This is live.
New riots.
You bring up CNN there. See, nothing up our sleeves. It's new riots. It's new Chicago. It's a new branding effort. Something else, too. We've talked about this for a while. And what's funny is actually, my ears are so blocked up right now that nothing sounds right in my ears.
Oh, you sound fine to me.
Do I sound normal?
Yeah.
You sound like you're in the Mario level underwater. Remember I told you about this a long time ago, and we were actually suspended from YouTube for the title of it, that they're coming for your kids, the trans, the LGBTQ AIP. Well, now it's very clear. You always need to ask yourself, what would the left do? What would Democrats do? Not what happens nationally. What happens when they have power completely unfettered? You see what's happening in Washington State. And the bill now that is going through, it went from the state house, was amended, now it's going back through. It looks like it's going to pass. Is as evil as it gets. It's as evil as it gets, and it is... I think we're all going to die.
That was your weekend.
It's possible that we all die.
Well, is that?
I was fooling around with a chat GPT, and I was like, "This is way more than a Furby."
Yeah, I'm doing well. Apparently, you're not though. We're all going to die.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I mean, eventually, nobody gets out of this game alive.
No, exactly. That's the thing. It's all a game. Oh, by the way, tomorrow on the show we have Jim Brewer on the show. This is the, of course, the last month of Free Mug Club month. LottoCreditor.com/Mug Club. Last week, sorry, a Free Mug Club month. So
you're sick. We'll give you a pass.
You can give me a pass. And then we have in third chair actually here today is Pops Crowder. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. You mentioned Jordan Peterson, and I thought, did I forget to make my bed? Took me off my game.
Mom doesn't make the bed?
She was in it when I got
We're going to make it with her in it?
I mean, you can. Your side.
Saran wrap her to the pillow?
Gerald, on that Any Given Sunday clip, would Jamie Foxx be an actual football player? No.
Not at all.
His head was below the shelf level of the changing area.
You could pick some guys that can, actually look like football players.
Like Garrett.
Yes. Yeah, Garrett fit better than any of those
Yes,
guys.
he did. Quarter black did. Hey, my question of the day, by the way, to you is, what would you do if your significant other came out as trans?
What?
Would you be phobic? I don't know how that plays into the vows. How does that play into vows there, Gerald? Christian theology.
I believe.
Till dicks do us part.
I believe it mentions it somewhere near the back.
Yes.
I think there's an out clause.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And for those of you
Weasel clause.
and we have more on Mug Club today. We have Hipster Hobo. We have Quip of the Week. And of course, if you join Mug Club, you get all of Nick DiPaolo's show and more content coming. And you said you're fine. That's not true, Pop Scratter. You were the one who gave me this. You were sick.
I didn't give you the red tide, though.
Were you guys kissing? What's going on?
I just got rid of my lozenges. I just realized.
Okay.
He had a visit with the Dalai Lama.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We have a 7+1 on the Dalai Lama because he likes having sex with kids.
Oh, wow.
So, I said he likes it.
Doesn't sound like Buddhism at all.
Well.
So before any of that, last week, now non-binary artist Sam Smith did a whole demon fat trans thing in his tour de force performance.
Wait, where'd it go? There it is.
That's Sam Smith? That's Sam Smith.
That's awful.
He looks like Boy George ate Boy George. That's Sam Smith?
The power of Christ
Yes.
compels you.
Do we have a side-by-side? Sam Smith was a good-looking chap.
He got pretty rough looking.
Good God.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness.
Queen of
There it
England
is.
now.
she's dead, by the way.
He means Camilla.
Yeah.
It really is. Now it really is like a physical disease, leftism.
It really, it changes you. We should do a before and after. We've got Riley here. We should do like if she went down the left or,
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Liberal hellhole.
No, I don't want to do that because all of you in the comments, in the chat, Riley, she was obviously the lovely lady in the California video. You meant to be complimentary, but you were largely committing sexual assault.
That's true. And she's married.
Yes. And she's
Control
married.
yourself.
Even the compliments are disgusting. That is Sam Smith.
She got great reviews in that, though. She did a really good
She
job.
got disgustingly great reviews. That's the problem.
You know what I love about that? I didn't hear a lot of people cheering. I heard some.
Let me see it again.
He had to.
Let me see it again.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, one more time.
I mean, there's some.
By the way, there's no choreography or rhythm.
No.
That's the thing. It's just like, it's enough. I'm going to put this on there. Like the thing's enough, like pomp and circumstance.
The costume speaks for itself. That's all.
Shock
We don't
without
need
the
any
talent.
yeah.
Come on, some theater here. It's a performance. Just go like Macho Man. It comes up, I'm going to dress as Satan. Ooh, yeah.
Listen, brother.
Nobody more macho than Sam Smith. I did a James Bond song. Oh, yeah.
You should be wearing more clothes.
That was a national treasure. Macho Man Randy Savage.
He was.
I just loved that guy. That guy inspired me when I was a kid. Like, what is this? This is a real thing?
Mine was the Von Erichs. I thought the Iron Claw actually worked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, that's
First
the
fight
problem.
I got into, I tried to do the claw and then got knocked out.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, there are Asian martial arts that think
Yes, they do.
it actually works.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Monkey claw.
I have the mock. What does that mean? Means I go like this on neck, you kick my ass.
Oh, I piss you off more.
You kick my ass. There's a reason for weight classes.
There's a reason for weight classes, little railroad worker. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Is he the guy that wore the tourniquet on his biceps to pump him up?
No, that was Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yeah, that was the ultimate.
That was Ultimate Warrior. Macho Man Randy Savage was fantastic. Hey, by the way, it's a live show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, just so you know. Don't worry about notifications because they don't work on YouTube. Anyway, let's get into Chicago riots. If you see, I should let you know, we have the YouTube dump button. We had to hit it in the intro today. If at any point, if you're not watching on Rumble, head on over to Rumble. If you see and hear this on YouTube, all right. That means that it's still running. You can see all of it on Rumble. Okay, let's go to Chicago first. Wonderful. Just a skip and a hop away from your hometown of Detroit.
Yeah. Sister city. But
yes.
it wasn't a one-trick pony, though, like Detroit.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't think we're allowed to say sister anymore. Sister city.
Yeah.
It's just it's a non-binary city. It's a city that could be a chick or could be a guy on any given day. Oh, yeah.
The Step City.
Yes. So on Saturday night, hundreds of teams of teens swarmed downtown Chicago for a good old-fashioned burn down the city. Oh, sorry, wrong clip.
Yeah,
Sudan.
right. Yeah,
that's international news. We're not doing that right now.
Close.
Here's the footage from the riots in Chicago who can never get anything right by design. Wait for it. Wait till it becomes World War Z. Watch, they start running toward the camera.
Oh. At that point, you'd run away.
Mostly peaceful.
Don't run. Come over here.
They chasing me with the gun.
Now you notice, by the way, the one thing that makes everyone there scatter? Gunshot. That's the one thing they make sure that you can't have in Chicago. I'm not saying go on the street as a vigilante. I'm saying to protect your own house as it gets looted and burned, right? A lot of people watch this and they go, hey, they're out there, they're rioting. Do you take into account that people can be in buildings that are burned that happened with the riots? Do you remember the story of the man who knew that his wife and daughter were in an apartment that was being burned and the fire department couldn't get there? It's not just about these people needing space to destroy. And by the way, there's nothing new in Chicago. The new mayor is going to do exactly what the old mayor did. There is no way for it to improve. That's the theme of today, by the way. What does the left do when left completely unfettered, not within the systems of checks and balances? We see it with Detroit. We see it with Chicago.
Yeah, I was in Chicago actually, going to a Notre Dame game in October, and we were at a light, and 15, 20, 30 motorcycles.
Should have run the light.
No. Here's the thing. It turns green for us. They come through doing wheelies and everything else. Not one single person honked. Not one person tried to pull out. Like, there was this degree of, like, if I do something here that's wrong,
yes,
there's no one here to protect me.
No, of course not.
Yeah. It was very...
And if you protect yourself, you'll be the criminal.
On, like, Michigan Avenue, like, up by the lake. Like, it wasn't like some small hole of Chicago.
Well, this is why. How do you get that many people to do that out there? They're not concerned about the cameras. They're running toward them. They're saying, hey, did you get my close-up? They are doing this in plain sight. There's a boldness that comes with that as a result of policy. This is just 10 days after the soft-on-crime new mayor-elect Brandon Johnson was announced as mayor, soon-to-be mayor. Here's what he said. He said, it is unacceptable and has no place in our city. Good end statement. However, it is not constructive to demonize youth who have otherwise been starved of opportunities in their own communities. No. They just burned down their own communities.
Yes. Yeah. They have plenty of opportunity to run around and riot and loot. I just saw it.
It is not productive, constructive to demonize youth. I disagree. I think it's incredibly constructive to demonize youth. I think it's incredibly constructive to punish youth, to discipline youth, especially when I think it might even be constructive to try them as adults. I don't know. Is that just me? Comment below. Like if you agree, if you're there on YouTube, or hit the Rumble button. Remember when I was a kid, I used to discipline me there, Pops Crowder?
From time to time.
The wooden spoon used to make me pick it. If I picked the small one, you got a bigger one anyway, which almost seemed like it wasn't really a fair decision. But
I wonder why the Democrats have starved them of opportunities.
Yes. Good point.
I don't know, what policies could they possibly have in place? By the way, I just want to know, would it be okay to go to the store owner whose store was looted and just say, well, hey, these are just kids, guys. I'm sorry. They didn't have opportunities in their community.
Yeah.
Is that going to heal that situation?
It's not constructive.
I don't know if anybody was hit by the gunfire, but maybe the person that was shot, can you ask them that as well?
What they mean is it's not constructive to demonize. Well, first off, so what they're saying, it's not constructive for you to say bad things. I think it would be constructive for you to protect your house and home and your business. By that, I mean use of force, just to be clear. I'm not advocating going out and committing violence again. But I certainly think that you're entitled to use force to defend yourself. Most states recognize that. And that includes violence. Yeah, people are burning down your store. But they don't even want you to say bad bad words. So what it's about, this is all about, this is the theme here that has been going on for the last several, you've heard me say it, it's about turning law-abiding citizens into criminals and criminals into voters. Can you imagine anyone, left or right, in the 60s or 70s seeing that saying, well, you know what, really, though, it's not constructive to demonize them. Even back then, they had to defame people in the Democrat Party. Like, well, they shouldn't riot.
Right. I mean,
Well, who are they blaming? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Take a wild guess.
No, who are they blaming? They've had control of these cities without opposition for generations.
Well, I think they're
They want to
blaming...
buy the votes
Yeah.
for the people that have been starving them of opportunities in their communities.
Well, the mayor-elect blames the police, as seen by the fact that he was a major proponent of defunding the police, of defund the police, quote, prior to his election.
The president of the United States, the former president of the United States, President Barack Obama, took it one step further as well, and basically said that the effort of the defund police movement lost an audience because of that that slogan, I guess is what he's calling it, which I don't look at it as a slogan. It's an actual real political goal.
He backtracked and said, no, I didn't mean defund the police. Yeah, but what about when you said it's not a slogan, you actually think it's a political goal, meaning defund the police? He said, stop that. It's not constructive to demonize me.
for what I said, that was last week, sir. But that's in my past.
Yeah, that's in my past.
Well, don't worry. It's mayor. Ain't nothing going to change.
Ain't nothing going to change. We'll compare his policies and Lord Lightfoot. And by the way, in other news for the city, Walmart permanently closed 4 Chicago stores on Sunday, saying that the stores have lost tens of millions of dollars because you can only have grape drink on a 5-finger discount for so long. I'm sorry. Admonish me. Yes.
It's purple drink.
It's purple drink. Drank.
Admonish.
It's purple drank for all you kangs.
Sugar, water, purple. Remember that.
And don't forget, this is Ronnie Mosley while talking about this. So the same thing applies here. Yes, who do they blame? They blame the cops. Who do they blame? They blame Walmart. Here's Ronnie Mosley. He's, I guess, from the
Alderman,
21st
yeah.
Ward. Ronnie Mosley, alderman-elect from the 21st Ward. Of course, I was not familiar with him before he said this dumbassery. He blamed Walmart for the closures.
It is on the corporate citizens that come into our community and ravage our community.
Okay, common.
And Walmart, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves.
Ain't before God.
You are the reason that our communities lack the investment that they have.
Did you hear that, lady? Stand before God, or ashamed before God. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Walmart should be ashamed before God.
Really? You want to take it up with the Walton family? I just watched World War Z of criminals in the middle of your city.
You mean everything isn't free in Walmart?
It was the Walking Dreads.
They should not lock up the socks, said Walmart.
Yeah.
They should not lock up the hair color. They should not lock up the shampoo at Walmart.
Where are we going to get a razor bump lotion?
What?
So here's the question. How did Chicago get here? They think they want, and you can comment below, spoiler alert, they want you to blame the police. They want you to blame Republicans. They want you to blame, also, remember when they blamed guns coming in from Indiana?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Hey, wouldn't Indiana, well, it's out of Gary, have the problem that Chicago does? It's like, all the guns are coming in from Indiana, ruining our state. Have you looked at their state? Shut up.
There's barely a city near you in Indiana. Like South Bend is the first real place you get to.
It's all about abdicating personal responsibility. And anyone who's fooled by this shell game at this point, I'm sorry, guys. You really are morons. If you're in Chicago and you think you can blame this on the police, you think you can blame this on Donald Trump, I think you're probably past hope. So let's recap the Chicago policies. In 2020, the Cook County DA, Kim Foxx, dropped charges on 29.9% of felonies.
Wow.
That was compared to the previous DA of 19%, which, by the way, is still pretty damn high.
That's very high.
2022, Illinois became the first state to eliminate cash bail. 2022, foot pursuit was not allowed for anything besides violent felonies. And arrests in Chicago are at historic lows, which, by the way, is a really hard metric because you can't really take into account how many people would have been arrested who aren't being arrested. I don't know if they had counted those videos that we just showed you and said, yep, that should have been arrest. So the 2005 arrest rate was 31%, 2021 arrest rate 12.3%, and the homicide rate is the highest that it's been in over 20 years in Chicago.
Those are great policies.
And the policies from this new mayor are the exact same. What is it? It's defund the police, and now he says, well, not really defund the police, restructure police.
Yeah.
It's blame corporations. It's more gun control, right? He wants red flag laws. The funny thing is, when you look at the policy of this new mayor, he says, I'm going to change a city. Change what? It's the same thing as the previous mayor. Ain't nothing going crime. You can keep that shit. Vote for me.
The only difference is
Walmart. Gone, vote for me. People are like, he's talking my language.
you want jobs at Walmart? No, not on my watch.
And haven't they just matched Detroit, where 80% of all murders go unsolved?
I don't know if it's 80%. I know it's very high. And again, that's a hard metric because they just say, is this an unsolved murder? They go, I don't know. Let's just not file that one, okay?
Cold case. We'll leave it.
What's the point of all these awards?
It was a homeless guy. Screw it.
That's the evidence from the murder case.
What is this like? When he looks back on the past, he's like, at least I'm not a lesbian. Is that it? Like, because that was Mayor Lightfoot was like, okay, that's you guys are doing the same. Otherwise,
yeah, that's sort of what it was. Vote for me because I don't look like a catfish. Everything else is the same. No catfish eyes.
no more Beetlejuice.
Also, and then they told him, like, you won. He's like, you're bullshitting. My portfolio gonna grow. It is a crap hole, Chicago. It used to be a cool city. It's not. It's not even safe right now in tourist spots.
Used to be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was Chicago. The wonderful place you can go hang out. Now you don't. Trust me. You don't.
And about to be passed by Dallas as the third largest city in the country.
Yep.
Dropping like a stone. Dallas is growing like crazy. So.
Good.
You know when you used to drop a stone? Is that Sam Smith? How much is a stone? It's a stupid measurement system. I'd be like, okay, I weigh about 225, so it's like 100-something kilograms. And then people
2.7 stones.
It's 2.7 stone. Doesn't sound very
know what
good. Someone lost weight. It's like, oh my gosh, look, you're withering away. Yeah, how much did you lose? I lost 0.01 stone.
A stone is 14 pounds.
Okay,
it'd be a lot more.
I was off.
No.
Yeah, way off.
I don't know. I don't believe it. Okay. Smash the rumble button if you're
fast,
watching.
though, by the way.
That was pretty fast.
That was
Good for
really
you. Good for you. 14 pounds. Who picked that measurement?
I don't know.
It really doesn't matter. It's an increment. Who cares?
Well, it's hard to measure. Why? I don't want to be rounding decimals for weight.
We're more offended by that than
I
Chicago.
just round my height down. I'm like 6'2"3/4. I just say 6'2" instead of 6 because I don't want someone to like put me up on the measuring stick. Be like, oh, you say you're 6'3"? So I just say 6'2".
Fine.
What if it was stone? I know stone is weight. The point is, SNL is a propaganda wing.
That's a segue.
Yeah. So this brings us, you see in Chicago, if the left has their way unfettered, see Detroit, see San Francisco. And I want to use SNL here as a jumping off point because it really has become, this is propaganda, by the way. And this is why comedy is largely dying on the networks. And that'll bring us to Washington, what's happening with the trans bill, which is, I don't want to say trans bill, what's happening with the child abduction bill. Let's call it that, child abduction bill. The bill to abduct your children from you if you don't put them on puberty blockers or give them a sex change. So let's start. I apologize. My voice is gross. Does it make me sound somewhat sexy, though? Like
No.
A little bit of no?
Not to any of us.
I don't have the macho man. Get that red dye.
Introducing SNL's first non-binary cast member. It's
Could have fooled me.
Molly Carney.
Which works if they're making fun of it.
That's something to celebrate.
Look at the big bruise.
Well, as you know, I've been wanting to come to Update and talk about trans people, but I have, for a much longer time than that, wanted to fly down from the ceiling.
We wanted you to identify as Owen Hart. power. That's what is most concerning. It's not what do they do when there are checks and balances. What do they do when those don't exist? So guess who the checks and balances are? It's you. We're going to continue this conversation as well as Hipster or Hobo. By the way, this is the last month you can hear my voice. It's
last week.
Last week of the month.
Last week.
louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. You get Nick DiPaolo's show also Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. and more shows coming down the pike.
Yeah.
If you don't join up, guess what? None of this exists, and YouTube wins. So we'll see you right now. We'll see you there if it's free, so you can watch it on Rumble, or you can just you can watch it on Mug Club.
Yeah.
But YouTube. All right, are we still on YouTube?
We are a little
ish.
We've been dumping constantly on YouTube. So
as long as
I
we
don't
can
know how much of the show is on YouTube.
As long as we can pick whichever bathroom we dump.
Yeah.
All right, YouTube, piss off.
Shh.